I'm Owen Casey Stevens, and this is the story of the Rum Cake Fairy. This story takes place several years ago, back when my wife and I were living in Oklahoma, and it was during the holiday season, and my wife had, as she frequently does, a long list of things that she wanted to do for the holidays, as far as baking and cooking and providing treats and doing a major holiday meal for my family and several of our friends. And one of the things that she wanted to do was to make a traditional rum cake using a family recipe, and she made the list of everything she needed, and we went on grocery lists, and we bought it. All of it. Except the rum. In Oklahoma, you can't buy rum in grocery stores. You have to go specifically to a liquor store, which are privately owned but separate from grocery stores, where you can only buy things like wine coolers, and wine cooler cake just didn't have the same ring to it. So our plan was to run by a liquor store at some point between when we started planning and Christmas Eve, when we had to have a rum cake ready. But at the time, my wife and I just didn't drink. We really didn't drink at all. We had everything we wanted without having to worry about drinking. Occasionally champagne or something for a special event, sure. But for the most part, we were not drinkers. So it was the holiday season. We were busy. We had things to do. She had a job she was going to. I was freelancing. We just didn't make that special run to the liquor store. So a couple of days before Christmas, LJ, being the wonderful, organized person that she is going down her list of everything she's going to cook, everything she's going to bake, everything that's going to get gelled, everything that's going to get marinated. And she realizes that she doesn't have the rum she needs for the rum cake. So she says, all right, Owen, I need you to get in the car. She was being very specific, so we were a little harried. Get in the car, go down to the nearby grocery store, not grocery store, liquor store, get some rum, bring it back for the rum cake. And I was like, go to the liquor store, get rum. Seems simple. Got in the car, drove to the liquor store. Now, this was a pretty big liquor store. I mean, it's not like the size of a Walmart, but it's bigger than like a corner convenience store, for example. It had 25 or 30 rows of liquor, and it was the holiday season, so it was packed. Now, in the defense of the people that ran the store, when I walked in and had this blank, oh my God, I've never been in here, I don't know where I'm going to get rum, look on my face, someone from the store stepped up and said, sir, can I help you find anything? I'm like, yeah, I need rum. He's like, great, over here, and he takes me down to aisle 21 or whatever, and says, here's the rum. So there's rum stacked floor to ceiling from the left of me, halfway down this aisle, just tons of rum. There's dark rum, there's clear rum, there's small kegs of rum, there's bottles of rum, and the rum runs from about $7 to about $700. And I still look totally blank, and he's like, can I help you with something else? And I'm like, well, I need rum for a rum cake. And he had this expression on his face like, man, I'd like to help you, but if you're not drinking it to get schnockered, I don't know what to do. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get the right rum. I did not own a cell phone at the time, so calling home and asking my wife to solve this problem for me was not an option. And just as I told him I need rum for a rum cake, there's this little moment of silence, and then I hear from the aisle over this high-pitched squeaky voice say, rum cake? And I'm like, what the heck? What? And then I hear, and a little, tiny, hunched woman who looked like someone had made her out of one of those dried apple dolls with a cane and a little backpack and a bag with, or actually a plastic basket with like 70 little one-shot booze bottles, it just stuffed in it and overflowing, and I felt like they would be dribbling on the floor, but they weren't. Comes around the corner, and she looks at me and says, rum cake? You need rum for rum cake? I'm thinking, well, you know, I need help here, so sure. And I said, yes, ma'am. I've never bought rum for rum cake, so I don't know. And she said, for rum cake, you need spiced rum. It should be the color of tea, good strong tea, and you buy the cheapest bottle that is more than $20. And I'm like, well, that's a really specific list. Spiced rum should look like strong tea, cheapest bottle that's over $20. So while I'm trying to parse all this, her hand goes out and she grabs this bottle and you'll take this. And she gives me a bottle of shellback rum. And I only knew shellback as the nautical naval term, but here it is. And it's like $21. And it certainly looks like strong tea, and it says it's spiced rum. And I'm like, okay, so this is, yes, that'd be perfect for rum cake. Have good, strong flavor, make good glaze, be perfect. Don't drink it. And I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't going to drink it. But so I'm thanking her profusely, and she's nodding, and she's already wandering away. And the guy who led me here, the employee, is like mentally adding this thing to his list of stuff I might need to know as an employee at a liquor store. So I've got a bottle of rum, and I go and I buy it. I also bought a little thing that was marked as an orange bomb. That was a little round bottle. It's a different story. And I took it home, and LJ was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I explained that I'd met the rum cake fairy, and that the rum cake fairy had given me the rules for good rum cake. And so she was delighted, and we made it. Now, as I said, this was a family recipe, and several people in the family had tried it when the previous generation had made it, and they really liked it at the time. So we made the rum cake, and LJ's making this glaze, and she's on the saucepan, and she's, it's butter and sugar. I've never made it. I'm not sure what goes in it. Rum, obviously. And she has this really unconvinced look on her face at first, right? It's like, and then 3 or 4 minutes into it, suddenly, something happens in the saucepan, and it becomes this perfect glaze. And so she poured it in the rum cake, and it soaks in. And we had it in our fridge overnight. When we served it to people that have had the people that made it originally, the family members who created this recipe, they were talking about how great it was, how moist, how delicious, how perfect the flavor it was. I can't always find shellback specifically, but I have found that the series of rules given to me by the rum cake fairy have never, ever let me down. So every once in a while, a creature from the old world, from the Black Forest, will come and solve your problems, and they don't even demand your firstborn. It's really impressive. Rum cake.